Welcome to today's session on special education teachers and understanding how these specialists can help promote an inclusive classroom. Special education teachers have been trained in providing inclusive education and/or teachers who are trained to support students with a particular disability. These teachers may monitor students with diverse disabilities such as dyslexia, dyscalculia, dyspraxia, apraxia, autism spectrum disorders, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or attention deficit disorder, just to mention a few. First, let's define what the principles of inclusive education for children with diverse needs are. A classroom where teachers support learner differences and equal opportunities for all. In addition, peers are encouraged to accept students with physical or learning challenges as well. Not so long ago, students with special needs were taught exclusively in separate resource rooms away from their peers. However, in many countries today, these students are educated with their peers in a mainstream classroom as much as possible. It is the main role of the special education teacher to ensure that students with special needs are supported in class to achieve their full potential, as determined by a special education task force, which includes various stakeholders. So, who are these stakeholders? The student, when possible, of course, parents, special education teachers, administrators, classroom teachers, school psychologists, and physical or occupational therapists. The individualized education plans, or IEPs, for each student with special needs ensure that all accommodations are being met at all times. To create the final IEP, meetings are held with the Special Education Task Force. The IEP will be evaluated on a regular basis to see if interventions need to be removed from the IEP, amended, or if others need to be added. The special education teacher works with those who have special needs and modifies the lesson plans and curriculum to accommodate the requirements as outlined in the IEP. The special needs teacher may also create revision activities and plan one-on-one materials for learners. A special education teacher helps manage the classroom in terms of setting up routines and behavior plans for those with special needs, and also assists in rulemaking within the class. Special education teachers may also need to make modifications or accommodations to provide differentiated learning in the class. Accommodations include using the same material but in a different way. For example, giving the student the same exam but providing more time to complete the exam. Whereas modification means simplifying the content of the exam. For example, simplifying assessments or assignments. In order to make the educational system as inclusive as possible, special needs teachers collect data on the progress of the student and inform the general education teacher on how to best meet the needs of the child. The mainstream teacher, on the other hand, integrates recommendations by the special education teacher and the IEP when needed. Whatever role both types of teachers might have, it is their joint responsibility to ensure that special needs students are not isolated, but rather are part of an inclusive learning environment and are progressing through the curriculum to the best of their abilities. Special needs teachers and general classroom teachers can often team teach. Although they team teach, both types of teachers may take turns to actually present lessons. The amount of input may vary too. For example, a special education teacher may teach 1 or 2 days a week, or perhaps just provide brief input. And when not teaching, they might simply provide one-to-one or additional support. Thus, inclusive instruction may not necessarily take place on a daily basis, but rather when required by the students. Although the general education teacher is the expert in content, it is the special education teacher who is the authority in appropriate interventions and has the ultimate task of reviewing these. The special education teacher may also supervise teaching assistants to accompany special needs students to classes. If you would like to explore more on any of the topics discussed, click on the links provided at the end of this unit. As always, remember to observe what is happening in your classes and be a reflective practitioner.